This is a
Squad. What's up? What's up?
That ball is belted. Welcome in Carlos Gomez. Hello. Goodbye.
Prescott down the middle. Butler makes a move.
Oh man, yeah. We rocking now for real. Yeah. BS3 Sports. Okay. Sports news, get it first when you're getting off of work. Even when you're at work, acting like you're working hard when you're hardly working. I'm a maverick like Dirk, getting Franklin's like Kirk. Hold up, boy. X Squad, you don't know them boys? Being talking facts on every topic. Overall, we just talking noise, just being boys. Covering Texas sports in them tall heels. That with the fake pass over to Elliott. Better guard your grills like a car for real. Yeah, Cowboys gonna bring a bowl back, Lord willing. Yeah, Mavericks gonna bring a ring back with Mark in it. We live sports, we talk sports, we dream sports, we eat sports. The teacher about to teach the course. Welcome to BS3 Sports.
The weekly show.
Gross. Oh man, yeah.
Welcome to the weekend wrap-up show. Man, we got a lot to get to. Got some big news from this weekend. Obviously, the Lakers trade, which we'll be talking about that for sure. Also, we had a boxing match this weekend, Tyson Fury versus some guy named Schwartz. Also, we got the U.S. Open from this weekend. We got the NBA draft coming up this week. We got NFL news that I want to get to. So we got a great show. You're tuned in to the weekend wrap-up show. I'm your host, Ben, a.k.a. BS3, right here on X Squad Radio. Also, shout out to my fam, the No Phony Podcast Network, showing support throughout each show as they do as well. Shout out to Miss Mocha Bella in the building. Said Galloway in the building. If you're tuning in live, thank you. Join in on the show chat room. If you're not tuned in live, thank you for tuning in after the show's over. If you hear me giving a shout out to people and reading comments, those are from people in the chat room. So I would urge you to do yourself a favor and join in on the show live. So you can join in, create a profile. It's very easy to do. And you can join in on the conversation. The title of today's show is Round of Applause for Rich Paul. If you don't know who Rich Paul is, you need to look him up. Rich Paul, who has helped orchestrate this trade. The Anthony Davis trade was already in the works, but what he did, he did something that was very key that forced this trade along even further. Shout out to Melvin. Thank you for tuning in. But shout out to Rich Paul, man. Rich Paul was very instrumental in this trade on a lot of fronts. The first one that I want to point out was because he notified the Celtics, or he pretty much said it out loud. If you guys trade for AD, he will not re-sign. I believe he's in the last year of his contract. And Celtics got shook. They didn't make the deal. They would have had to put Jason Tatum in the contract or in the trade. They didn't end up doing that. And really, I think the Pelicans won this trade. You think of everything that they got. They, to me, won this trade. The Lakers got their guy. They got who they wanted, but they had to pay a pretty penny in order to get that. And that wasn't a dirty penny that you just found off the ground. That was a shiny penny that they had to give up. 3 first-round picks for the next 3 years. You've already leveraged your future for the next 3 years. Also, the pick from this year. So like I joked, and Chief Rocket's show, he just ended his show on X Squad Radio. Go back and listen to that. LeVar Ball is about to be running point. Now, I say that jokingly because the Lakers still, I believe they'll still have enough money for a max offer to someone else. Kyrie is being linked. They are going to be trying to go after Kawhi. No surprise there. Jimmy Butler. The Lakers are going to be an attractive destination, which also could mean you could have people taking discounts, because the chances of them winning a championship has increased. It can definitely increase at this point. So more power to the Lakers. You know, they got the deal done. They did whatever it took to get the deal done, obviously, as we can now realize. But they gave up quite a bit. They did. But they got their man. They got who they wanted. Now you can move on throughout the rest of the season. Who do they go after next? And like I mentioned, a couple of names: Kyrie, Kawhi, Jimmy Butler, Kemba Walker. There's a lot of free agents out there. But when Rich Paul came in as Anthony Davis's agent and he announced that he wanted to get traded, some people took it lightly. Some people took it seriously. But he got moved. He got moved eventually, and the deal is sealed. But Rich Paul doing this thing to make sure that this deal got done, orchestrating in the background, orchestrating in public, saying whatever that he needed to say in order for the deal to get done, even with David Griffin meeting with AD. I think that it was already over. I didn't see any reason for him to stay, and I think he wants to win now. And in order for you to win now, you have to partner up with other stars. That's the way the NBA is. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if your feelings are hurt or you don't like big teams or whatever. The way for you to win is to partner up with other guys. And that's essentially how you win championships. Shout out to my pops. Thank you for tuning in. And happy belated Father's Day. Thank you for putting that in there to all the fathers. Also, Said Galloway putting in some knowledge. I appreciate that. He said number one pick 2010. I'm assuming you meant 2020, 2021, and then a protected pick in 2024. And look, at the end of the day, the trade is what's best for your team. And if they feel like they made the best deal, that's on them. I think the Pelicans won this trade. Not only do you have pick 1 and 4, you also have Lonzo Ball. I'm not the biggest fan of his, but Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram. They didn't give up Kuzma, so applause to that part of it. Shout out to Chief Rocca tuning in. Also, Courtney Harden, thank you for tuning in. But really, the Lakers did what they needed to do to get the deal done. That's who they wanted. They sought after him. They got him. Also, Josh Hart was included in the deal. And also, I wanted to point out, if you look at Rich Paul's clients and roster of players that he has 3 Lakers now. He has some of the Cavs players, the former Cavs players, everywhere where LeBron went or has been, he has clients on his roster. And I think Rich Paul is doing a great job, and I also applaud LeBron. Like I've said this before, when you talk about putting your family on, when you talk about when you get successful and you help out your best friend or the people you grew up with, what better way to do it than to allow him to be your agent and to funnel players that you play with or have played with to work with him. So Rich Paul to me is, there's some friends that leech on to what you have, and all they do is suck out suck everything out of you. But Rich Paul didn't do that. He took his advantage, he took his opportunities, and he flipped it. And he's been very instrumental. He was very instrumental in this trade. I think it's a win-win for both teams. Sag Galloway says I meant 2019, not 2010. Okay, I got you. So they're not consecutive picks. So 2019, 2021, and 2024. So that does give me some relief that they didn't give away 3 years of their future. Here's the thing. LeBron cannot play forever. I think I would say he's going to play till he's 40. I don't know that for a fact. He's 34 right now. I know he wants to probably play with his son, which who wouldn't want to play with their son in a professional sport? But they are looking very good. They are looking very good right now. They're going to have to sign some additional players, which I do not doubt that they're not going to do that. It's just a matter of who. But this is definitely an attractive destination right now. And you look at what the Warriors have going on, it's going to make it for an interesting Western Conference too. Like I said on Friday's show, the summer is only going to get better. Plus, AD is still young enough to make an impact for the next 7 to 10 years, along with Kuzma. So they are on the up and up. And when the Lakers are on the up and up, that means the league is on the up and up. That also means that another team, though, did not get AD. And that's in the Knicks. But it's not over for them yet. It's not over, but if they don't get Kyrie, it's going to make this offseason more interesting for them. And now Kyrie, the story saying Kyrie wants to play with AD. I don't know how true or false that is. I've never heard him say that. But you never know. There's always some truth and some lie to everything and anything with these stories that come out. So be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. We got more to come for this summer. Do you think the Lakers are going to get another big free agent or distribute the money to a couple of mid-level players? Says Courtney of The Real Deal. I think they are going to get another player. They're going to finagle. I know the word is if they sign him by June 6th, then it's going to affect how much money they'll have. Now, if they sign him, or if they wait until July 30th to complete the trade, they would have $32.5 million instead of $23.7 million. And also that'll depend on if Anthony Davis voids his $4 million trade bonus. So I think they are going to get another guy. I think it's just a matter of who and who wants to come. Shout out to Shelly Q in the building. Thank you for tuning in. My pop says LeBron should get credit for empowering his brothers to use his knowledge in business. I agree, man. I agree that LeBron should get a lot of credit. Shout out to Sluggo. Courtney, I want multiple players, shooters, says Seth Galloway. And I think they are going to get a max guy. And I also think people are going to want to come here. You look at what the Warriors have from over these past 3 to 4 years. The championships they won, people were flocking to want to go there. Andre Iguodala, Boogie Cousins. I thought Vince Carter was going to go there. It didn't end up happening. Jamal Crawford was linked to them. So the way that I think this is going to play out is I think the Lakers, which already they're an attractive destination, but they're going to become that team that people want to go to because you have 2 all-star players, 2 top-tier players that are there. And if you want to win a championship, in most instances, you have to team up. You have to